Hi, I'm Domenic Bonanno. I played Guy. I was chief editor, and I created the characters in Guy 4.
Hi, I'm JT Kilburn. I was the director and writer of Guy 4, and I played the chief.
I'm Sam Perkins. I am the director of the youth program at WCTV, so I oversaw all of it, and I died a lot.
I'm Domenic Guisti. I played William Schmeckle and Pablo Pablo Escobar, and I also helped keep the prop closet in order.
And we are a part of the cast and crew of Guy 4, a youth program production that premiered at the Arlington Capitol Theater a couple weeks from now. And today we're going to do a little podcast talking about the behind-the-scenes productions.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of have everybody that we could come and sit down and do this because it was just such an amazing undertaking by these guys. I was just along for the ride. I was making sure that nobody died in real life and no one got in trouble and everything was sort of above board. But it was such a thrill for me to get to see like these young kids put in a level of work on a production that I didn't start even sniffing until probably after graduate school. Like they literally came up with the concept and the first 3 movies in the summer of 2023. So that's like 3 summers ago. And then they started Guy 4 last summer. And they filmed it all summer. And I thought when we didn't get it done, maybe it was going to fizzle out. And they worked in the fall and in the winter and in the spring. And it was just unbelievable. And I think it's fitting that we have these 3 guys sitting down because Guy, this franchise started back in the summer of 2023, the first week of our returning students youth program. It was my first week of taking over the youth program. And there was so much going on here that we didn't do a good job of marketing it. I really did not know what the youth program was about and sort of until the 25th hour. And we only had 3 kids come for that first week here. And it was these 3. And that's where Guy was created. And that week really saved the youth program. And if you see the youth program now here, we have had more than 100 kids come through it in one capacity or another over the last year. We had all these kids, like a dozen kids involved in filming Guy. We just had an amazing week that Dom Bonnano and JT sort of ran of young filmmakers of getting the next generation in here, which was a sellout of that. The kids, the parents, everyone raved about it. And all of this amazing stuff with the youth program, which is really it is the heart of WCTV. It was really saved that first week of the summer program in the summer of 2023 with just these 3 kids. So I think it's fitting to have everyone back here.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys tell me about Guy and sort of how that came about and your recollections?
Oh, man. I low-key don't remember every detail for sure. I know. Because Guy was like a character that's existed for a while.
It was really dumb. I'm gonna say that.
It was the thing you made with Aiden Trites. What was it, 4 summers ago? Right?
Yeah.
It was like their first appearance, maybe.
So it was me and Aiden Trites. We were doing this co-directors thing, or not co-directors,
co-anchors
thing, and we decided that one of the characters was going to be an undercover cop. And I said he's going to be undercover as the name Guy, but his real name's going to be John Smith. And I was thinking, like, that's stupid. His real name should be Guy. And he should be undercover as John Smith. 2 names that are, like, very just not names. And so that's kind of what happened. So we think he dies in that. And then he just comes back as our news anchor and everything else.
Yeah.
So it turns out Guy just really liked doing the news.
Which it goes deeper because that movie that we introduced him in was a sequel to a different thing that me and Aiden made a year before that, which also connects to a bunch of our other movies. There's layers to this, and I don't even fully understand it.
Yeah,
Or an ogre.
As an outsider, to all these inside jokes, it was pretty funny because they call it the WCTVU, like the MCU, or
that really didn't need to be made.
but all of these. There's so many characters in Guy that are connected to things that really predate me. They go back to when these guys were sort of starting out at WCTV. And, different directors of the youth program, sort of different characters sort of came and went. But it was really nice for Guy 4 to have sort of brought all these things back together, which was awesome.
Yeah.
How did each of you guys get started at WCTV? If you think way back.
I think it was my friends. I think my friends were kind of doing the youth program, and they said it was fun, that I should try it, and I was in like second grade, so I just decided to do one, and I liked it, so then I just kept coming back.
Yeah. For me, it was back in 5th grade. I was on like the student council, which is like the most do nothing thing ever because it's 5th grade. What are a bunch of 10-year-olds gonna do to fix the school? Nothing. But they did the one highlight of the student council was they would like send the kids to WCTV every Thursday to make like short films that we were gonna show to the incoming 5th graders the next year, and they were supposed to be like, you know, PSAs and like stuff to get you accustomed to the school. And at first they were. We made an anti-bullying skit. We made a Alice drill skit, which should not have been made. We did a tour of the North. Like, all of those made sense, but like at the end of the year we kind of started making random stuff. And I had a blast with that program. I think I'm the only one who was on the student council who like came back for anything. But eventually, like, some of my friends like Justin and JJ started doing it, and then it was kind of game over. I realized like I liked filmmaking, and I had friends who did this program, and I kind of just kept showing up until one day they were like, "Hey, you want to be an intern?" And I was like, "Sure." And then one day Sam was like, "Hey, you want to get paid?" And I went, "Absolutely." And and I've been here ever since.
So I started out like a lot later into the game. I think my first year doing this was, I think, going into 9th grade.
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, because it was after the peak of the pandemic, but I remember we still like all had masks on.
Yeah.
That was my first year doing it, and I got into it because before this I was doing zoo camp at the Stone Zoo. Loved zoo camp, but after my last year I was too old to do it. So because that, my friends said, "Hey, you should do WCTV camp," because they did it in the past like every summer, and I gave it a try, and it was really fun. It was really fun to like do all this stuff, and it was even funner again with my friends that I've known since preschool pretty much.
Yeah. I'm gonna test out my Dom trivia. Was it the Morads?
Yes.
Yes.
So before we get into the specifics of Gaga, just sort of what has WCTV meant to you, and like what do you feel like it's something that has been a benefit to you sort of during your time here?
It's a leading question if I've ever heard
absolutely.
one.
I'm not gonna ask a leading question.
No, absolutely. WCTV has been a huge part of my life. It's helped me become a more creative person. It's given me a lot of avenues to make stuff that I wouldn't have been able to make without the kind of equipment and support. And it's let me meet a lot of really talented people. It's let me learn a lot from people with like unique perspectives, because there's all sorts of people who come through these doors. You know, there's employees who have been here for a while, and then you have like college interns and people who are a bit newer to the film scene who know a bit more about like more modern filmmaking techniques. And it's just a really great place to like get experience with things you are unfamiliar with and figure out ways to like pursue passions that you might not have the opportunities to without resources like this. So like it's absolutely been a huge part of my life. And I think not that like I wouldn't have had the interest I have in filmmaking now without it, because I think that's something that like is natural for me. It's something I've always been interested in, but it wouldn't be to this extent. And I definitely wouldn't be on the same path with the same level of like knowledge as I am now without it.
Me? I feel like it's just kind of like my home away from home. Like I feel like I can come here and I can just bang out and edit, and then now I've started doing more sports stuff, and that's what I really like more than like this movie stuff. Like this making movies and stuff is fun, but it's like I love the like the social side of it, like the making clips, like putting up highlights of like the Wilmington football team. I'm gonna do a few tech games this year. I'm gonna do some more. I'm trying to up my game with the effects and stuff, and it's just like that's just like fun to me, and it's just like a good way to spend my time. And it's like I definitely feel like this place has became more of like what I said, a home away from home in these past few years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, honestly, same thing for me with I know you're going more into the sports route, but for me, definitely this feels like a place where you can like share what you're interested in through film. Like for me, I'm obviously obsessed with dinosaurs, so because of that, I can like just let that out here. I've done a podcast where we just talk about dinosaurs and the Jurassic franchise. I've been doing some stop motion stuff here, which from what I heard has never been done here.
Nope, never been done.
So yeah, for me it's really just like you're able to really do stuff that interests you, and of course like the connections. Like I've made some amazing friends here. I've made some like awesome connections with people that share similar interests. Like I still remember when I found out that me, you, and Maria watch Camp Cretaceous, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. We talked about it for like 45 minutes straight.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's not the same as you guys, but like it really is sort of like a home away from home. Like I love WCTV. I put in far more hours than I'm paid for here. And it's just been like it doesn't feel like a sterile place that you're just going. It feels like the building has a personality. Everyone that comes through the doors here is added to it. So it's a really special thing for me to be a part of. Even I wish I had a place like this when I was your age. Like we had an access station in Cambridge that was huge for me getting into like video and learning it, but it wasn't the same, I think, camaraderie and an atmosphere. I think it's a really special, unique place. So getting into Guy specifically, from the sort of the movie has premiered, it's come out, we had the huge event, and at least for the time being, JT says it's forever. I'm saying at least for the time being, I don't do well with endings. So turning the page on the Guy franchise for now and moving on to other things. And what do you guys just feel, and what would you say just looking back on the entire process from start to finish?
I feel relief.
I guess, yeah, for me there's like two different ways of thinking about it. There's like the sentimental side where it's like, I'm really sad that I'm never going to get to work on this project again. It was so much fun to like connect with all these people and, you know, make something bigger than we had ever really done, to challenge ourselves, to find new ways to do weird stuff. And then from like the creative side of things, I'm like, oh man, we can finally get them back to like making up new stuff. That's awesome. Like I think that's what I like. It's definitely a mix of emotions, but I think the biggest might be like excitement. I'm excited to see what's new, to let some other people take the reins. I know Dominic's obviously got his like noir thing in the works. We're gonna make like spin-offs to Guy, which is like you know in the same universe, but it's not a direct sequel. So in my opinion, it's like it's a different avenue, and we can try different styles and just get a bit more creative with it. So I think from a creative standpoint, like I'm very excited to see what's next, and to I guess I just keep making weird stuff.
Sam, I hate to break it to you, but I don't think we're ever gonna make a 2-hour movie again. Just gonna put that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. So in my entire life of I've produced a lot of stuff, I never hit the 2-hour mark in anything that I did. So that was pretty amazing. I've never gotten there. I think 1:45 is the longest I've ever done on something. So like a single.
Yeah.
This is all together as one piece. I don't think I've gone past 1:45. So that was. My hat is off to you guys.
Yeah.
It was, 2 hours was a lot. I was stressed for you guys of like, are we gonna get this?
We finished it the Wednesday before the premiere.
Right.
Like we didn't really have enough time to even watch it before the premiere.
And also, that wasn't even like a last minute thing in our minds. We got it done by Wednesday, and we're like, oh, hell yeah, we got it done by Wednesday. I thought we were gonna get it done by Friday.
Dom Guisti, just what would you say about the whole, your feelings now that it's over, about the Guy experience?
Like honestly, I have more of like a don't be sad that it's over, be happy that it happened sort of mentality. I mean, like, yeah, it's over, but like at the same time, like for me at least, this is just like the beginning of like a ton more stuff that I get to do here at WCTV.
I'm looking forward to your docuseries and all kinds of stuff. I'm going to try not be as personal. I don't want to steal the spotlight from you guys. I would just say that it's been hard for me to turn the page and move on. I'm technically on vacation this week, and I came back in to record this with these guys because just it was such an amazing experience to be a part of, and I'm not fully ready for that to be over. 'Cause it's almost like getting to be a kid again for me, young adult. You guys are in my eyes are still kids. I know technically it's like, oh, you're young adult. I don't mean any disrespect by it, but it's like
I don't consider myself an adult either.
You're not an adult when you're just by turning 18. So, but like it was such an amazing experience, and it reminded me of the reasons why I got into things connected with film, even when I was young, which is like creativity and total control and the excitement, enthusiasm of working together on something, and it was awesome. And I'll say one thing. I didn't see a single actual conflict over the direction of the movie, the script, how we were shooting scenes. Like there were times that JT got really frustrated at times at me because he felt like people weren't on the ball. But there wasn't any like butting heads, big disagreement, like, no, we need to do it this way. No, we need to do it this. And that was amazing. I can't think of a time I've been involved in something with this many personalities. And there's some big personalities in it.
Yeah.
That it was like a beef or a falling out or a fight or a conflict that needed to be like smoothed out over the direction of a film in one way or another. That was awesome. It was really collaborative. But it's hard for me to sort of like, we're getting ready for football here now. There's always excitement in the air for that, but I haven't been able to get excited about that yet because it's the best experience I've had, I think, in the working world. To me, honestly, like it was so fun to be a part of that and just see all the excitement and enthusiasm and creativity. So in that regard, looking back, what would you guys say about that first week when it was just the three of you and it came together? What do you remember about that? I mean, we're like 3 summers removed from that, so
not a lot.
Yeah, I remember I wrote the script, and that's why it was 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
I remember WCTV Jeopardy with Maria.
I remember that much more vividly.
Yeah.
That might still. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if Guy 4 is topping WCTV Jeopardy in my mind. That might be my proudest moment here.
Did we say we were going to bring that back?
Well, we kind of, because now
there is a game show.
Jack's doing a game show that's like kind of sort of similar. I want to be on that. I gotta talk about that.
We could have you on. We could have the cast of Guy being contestants would be awesome.
Actually, be kind of tough. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
But yeah, I mean, from that first week, what I remember is like, it was definitely. It sounds like negative, but it was a lot like lower stress for sure. Because it was like such a small, self-contained, like
3 of us.
Silly thing. Yeah, there was only 3 of us. And it definitely it was just a good experience because I had never really worked with like a small youth program like that, because that summer was like kind of an outlier, like specifically that week, because even in the later weeks we had like 6, 7.
Yeah.
No, I said it. No, I was gonna get clipped. But there was more than 5 people at the studio, and like this summer we had like 12. The summer before that we had, usually you'd have like around 8, 9, 10 people. It was a very small group, and it was kind of nice to just like work on like a pretty small project. It was also a new experience having you there, because like past youth directors didn't usually get as involved with the actual filmmaking. So it was definitely a unique experience. But I will say, just from the perspective of like what we got done this summer and the summer before we were working on Guy 4 is definitely a step up. Just because we were more ambitious, we were probably working
I
harder.
think our naming got a lot better.
Our naming got
Round
better.
of applause for the naming in Guy 1, because the Guy, the Chief, and gang member number
Gang
1,
member
those are
number 1.
impeccable names.
Yes. Legal name.
Impeccable names.
But yeah, that first week is definitely something I'm nostalgic for. And same with the other weeks in that summer. I think we had the most fun making the second movie.
Yeah.
Just because it was
Yes.
so
No, 100%.
goddamn ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
There was, so I would say Guy 1 and 2, there was definitely a lot more improving. By the time we
For
got
sure.
to Guy 3,
You could
where
say
JT was
improv.
much more behind the camera. Like the first two, JT was in front of the camera and behind the camera. But Guy 3, JT was like, I don't really want to have a big role on screen in this. Like that's where JT kind of came into his own as far as script writing and directing and sort of the vision of everything. So like it was much more like, this is the script, memorize it. Oh, you said that you got 2 words wrong in that dialogue, we got to shoot the whole thing over again. The first 2 was just kind of like anything goes.
yeah. I don't think Lex said a single line right.
No, oh my god.
Either.
When you watch Guy 2, that's the one that I laugh far and away the most at. And it's because Lex just
does whatever.
He just wins it. The whole time in that. Like, and then when he can't think of what to do, he just assaults Dom. Like there's a training montage, or there's one where you're eating a sandwich, and he just starts like choking you out for no reason. And it was
I remember I actually,
not real. Lex and Dom have been friends for forever. He wasn't actually choking him out, but it was just
I remember I actually had a sandwich in my mouth, and he was doing that, and he was shaking me back and forth.
But that first one, what I remember about that, Dom sitting down at the computer screen and just banging away at the keys, and then us spraying him in the face to make it look like he was sweating in that.
I remember
that was
that
great.
was really funny.
The first one's half a montage, so it's not
Yeah.
really like...
It's 6 minutes long, and like a minute and a half or 2 minutes is a coffee montage.
Which I don't even think was in the script.
No, it
Like-
wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, they're just like, I think the original intention was like we were gonna do like a Breaking Bad like cooking montage when they're like cooking meth in the RV in like the first episode, but that is not what happened at the end. It's like, we made something very different.
I remember you did the coffee edit too.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd seen. I was not familiar with you other than Jimmy Trenton, which, like Ashley, who was the youth director, would sort of set that up, and you'd read off a teleprompter, and then, but it's a very basic edit. It's
Right.
in front of a green screen.
The most editing I did was like putting ridiculous stuff on the green screen as much as I could.
When I saw the coffee montage, the finished product, I was like, holy, like, this kid's really good. Because that was your first time doing that, and I was like, wow, this is really, because we shot a lot, and plenty of it was like not so but like you had a clear vision, and you cut through, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes of footage.
Oh, not again!
Oh my god!
You're the only one that's noticing it.
To make this like minute and a half or 2 minute long, like there was no wasted frames in that. It was so good, and I was like, wow, like this is really, really good. And so I remember that. I remember Dom Guisti, I feel like, really stole the show on camera in the first Guy. Even though he had the smallest part, like just little improvs where it cut to you outside, and you're like,
All right, fellas,
and you just bang on the side
Let's
of the
get this
truck.
thing
That's
unloaded.
Imagine someone was in that truck, and it's like,
They're like,
I'm
all
just
right.
banging on my truck.
So that was, I mean, that first one was I look back on that very fondly.
Yeah.
My son Jack watched the first 3 like religiously. JT was like his hero. And then he got to be in Guy 4, which is such a huge thrill to him.
Yeah.
And that got him involved here. It wasn't me that got him involved
Honestly,
here,
now
it was
that I
you guys.
think about it, the whole, all right, fellas, let's get this thing unloaded. I think I got some inspiration from, I think it was like both Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, where they're like unloading
the
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs, that makes sense.
I think there's like one like blink and you'll miss it clip where this guy's just like do on
Yeah.
like one of the trucks and gets going.
And I mean, the whole concept for time loops, you guys did.
We didn't think about this at all.
Yeah.
You weren't even involved, right, in that commercial that they made?
I also wasn't.
Yeah, you were. It was like a commercial that like Justin and
Yeah.
Axel did here.
Should I give him the rundown of the time loop lore?
Yeah, go
Yes.
for it. Yeah.
So I think, oh my god, 5 summers ago, we made a movie called Coffee Break, which is basically like a Groundhog's Day like parody where a guy just keeps repeating the same day over and over again. And there's a cereal in it called Time Loops because we needed a cereal and we were like, what if we made our own cereal and call it Time Loops? And it's like it's like a fun idea. And then Justin, Axel, and JJ. Justin plays John Silverfist in this movie, and then JJ and Axel. I think JJ has like a cameo.
You killed JJ.
I do kill JJ, yeah. But yeah, I was like busy editing something, so they kind of went off on their own and just like literally just on an iPhone, recorded a like fake ad for Time Loops.
Still plays on our channels.
It does. You see it on the TV a lot more than you'd expect it to.
Is Guy Guy 4 going to be on the TV?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I feel bad for the grandmas that are they're putting on WCTV channels.
We'll have it so it only plays after 9.
Fall asleep and wake up halfway through Guy Guy 4.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Time Loops kind of just, like, kept appearing in, like, they're in Robbery and in,
they're in the
Hatman Begins, yeah.
I remember my first year, the first thing we did was we made different, we got into pairs and each pair made a Time Loops commercial.
Really?
I think the options were you could either recreate it one-to-one or you can make your own, and everyone was like, we're gonna make our own.
Interesting. Oh yeah, I remember Justin and Axel and JJ being like, "What the hell?" They just like stole our idea. But yeah, Time Loops kind of just kept appearing as like an Easter egg throughout different movies, and then in this one, it's like we need this like crime boss character in the chief. We got to give him something to do. It's kind of Time loops are drugs.
Yeah.
Let's just get it out of the way. Time loops in the Guy Guy movies are a very deliberate allegory for drugs.
They were before that.
They were. That was like a completely new thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, ever since they have kind of just been in Guy Guy, and they kind of turn into like a villainous force, and then the cereal itself becomes like a company, which is probably really confusing to people who don't know their stuff. But yeah,
I don't think anybody knows their stuff.
I don't know if I know my stuff. But yeah, that's where they came from. They've been around for a hot minute. Like 5 years. 5 years ago was when they first were in a WCTV thing.
And then you just all of a sudden were like, Time Loops is going to be a drug.
Yeah,
That's probably my idea, honestly.
It might have been, yeah.
So it was like that first week was like 3, and we got it going. And then the second week we picked up Lex and Aiden and CJ. And for some reason we're just like, you know what? Instead of let's do something new, it was like, let's do a second Time Loop.
Yeah.
Second Guy Guy
Well,
movie,
that's because the first Guy left off on a cliffhanger.
That's true.
Because it was only 6 minutes.
They all leave off on cliffhangers. Even the fourth one, which isn't intended to have a direct sequel, leaves off with 2 spin-off cliffhangers.
Yeah, it does 2 post-credit scenes. Like,
I'm gonna sell marketable plushies.
Yeah.
We should get plushies for that so we can actually
that would be awesome.
Sell them.
That'd be kind of tough.
Guy 2 was definitely, that's where it really took off. It got out of hand, but it really took off. Like, we introduced all the
that's before
Aidens.
you decided to step in and kind of help us direct the film.
Yeah.
That was when we were just like being teenage boys, and we're like, you know what? We're gonna have drugs, and we're gonna have bats as guns. We're just gonna.
You and Lex were like a deadly combo.
But that was where you guys, Guy 2, started getting into like the special effects work that you guys did in the fourth one, just all the editing, but like the special effects and stuff.
3 hours for a 1 second clip.
It like looks campy, some of it, intentionally. But I think people out there who watch it don't have any idea of how many hours go into each scene. Like Dom, the scene after he, not spoiler alert, takes the time loop, the super loop, and all the lightning effect, like that. There was so much into that.
There was supposed to be more, and I just didn't have time.
And like this is like hours and hours and hours for a single. Not even scene, like clip in a scene. It's just amazing.
1 second, but took 3 hours.
Guy 2 was where that all started, because you guys, we did that very poorly done, like Aiden's all together. Where
Yeah,
Aiden
yes.
like
I think CJ
8 or
did
10
that one.
people.
Yeah,
I didn't know how to do that stuff
And-
until that week.
And
I did. I just didn't want to do it.
If you see in the newest one where all of the Aidens assembled, the work JT did on that is unbelievable.
That took a
for,
while.
For having, I don't know how many are in
I'm
that,
so happy
8,
I
9,
found out
10,
about-
something
12.
like that. 12 Aiden, 12 Aidens. They're all played by Aiden Trites, and we filmed it multiple times and to have them all appear together is amazing.
I'm very happy I found out how to do the roto brush on
Yeah.
After Effects because it would have looked much worse.
Yeah.
Like that, the fight scene outside was the first real choreographed fight scene that you guys did, where it's Dom, and then Lex, who plays Person, who's Dom plays Guy, and Person is Guy's mentor of sorts.
Great naming.
Yeah.
Great naming.
But it was the two of you versus a bunch of Aidens. And that was the first time that JT really choreographed. He was like, okay, so you're gonna do this, and it involved multiple camera angles, multiple camera cuts, because it's one guy Aiden playing the adversary, multiple versions of him fighting, and that was the first time that you really got into fight choreography.
Yeah.
And I think I don't want to speak for you, but I don't think anything you did before that one really had the kind of, it's one scene, but we're going to shoot it from multiple different camera angles so that it makes sense editing it together.
Yeah, there was definitely some stuff of some of the earlier longer projects I did, we kind of tried to do that. I remember there was a scene in Hatman Begins that was written that way, but it didn't come out in the final product at all. But yeah, this was definitely the time that it was oh, you can kind of do this successfully if you just really plan it out carefully and make sure everyone's sticking in their spots, and it definitely was kind of a launching off point for me, because I've tried to do more and more complicated action set pieces with these movies, and I think the fourth one has some pretty good ones. There's a scene in near the end of the movie, when we have the heart song playing during the final battle on the field, where it's we have Guy and Aiden Prime and the sheriff fighting six. Oh my god, I need to stop. Multiple
It's only 'cause of
different.
the kid you saw at the beach.
I know. Multiple different guys all running at them, and we filmed it all in one take, and it took a few times, and it's imperfect. The camera's a little shaky, and there are some scenes that there are some bits that are not totally in frame, but it still came out pretty solid.
Yeah.
And doing more ambitious stuff like that has been one of the more fun parts of this process, I think.
I just sometimes I'll just be at a loss for words because of the work. I just can't believe the work that you guys put into this. But Guy 2 also had some endings, which was interesting. The chief, we think, is dead,
Yeah.
and gang member number 1, played by Dom Guisti, also dead, who is the chief's right hand man, definitely dead there, and CJ.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
CJ, who was introduced, a really interesting character arc for him, where he's introduced sort of as a cooker of sorts.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, he winds up being in charge of the whole thing. But I don't think I really saw him becoming the villain that he was for the next 2
Yeah.
movies. And it was interesting because Lex's character, also person dead.
That could have been. That was a really bad plot hole.
That was where he defeats the chief, or knocks the chief down, and then just heart attack. Dead.
I could have carried him out too.
Yeah, there's a big plot hole that you're just I'm sorry, person, I'm sorry, and he's just is left on the boat. You'd think the guy would have at least carried him out.
I'm trying to think. I think in the context of the script that was written, it's
No, you were supposed to hit him. You were supposed, the chief was supposed to hit him in some way.
Yeah, or it's he was already injured from the fight, and there's just his last little bit of strength. But I think what we told Lex to do was you're gonna hit him, and then you're gonna fall over, and it was he hits him, he's fine. It's a heart attack.
Man.
Lexley Moley plays by his own rules. He can't be
really
controlled.
does.
It's futile. There's no point in trying.
We need to get Lex back here somehow. Amazing job with propaganda. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know where that comes from.
He just takes old war propaganda and puts monkeys.
Yeah,
on
he's just got a talent for it.
And then Guy 3, which the first 3 were all done in that summer. There was Guy Guy's, what was it? Guy
Guy
One
Guy's
technically
epic
was
adventure
epic
film.
adventure
Yeah.
film.
An
Guy
epic
Guy-
Guy's
amazing-
epic adventure film.
and then Guy Guy,
The good, the bad,
the
and
good,
the guy.
the bad, and the guy.
And we should just call it Two Guy,
yeah,
That would have so much funnier.
But the good, the bad, and the Guy is where JT really started being like doing real script. I mean, he was doing screenwriting to begin, but like the script in Guy 3 definitely took it up a notch, and we introduced CJ is now CJO as the sort of director of Time.
So basically, that we had come up with that like the summer before. That was supposed to be a spoof of CEO, Chief Executive
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Officer. But since his name is CJ, CJO.
Yeah.
Boom.
and we bring on Jimmy Fitzpatrick, the force of nature that is Jimmy Fitzpatrick.
I love
to
Jimmy.
play the sheriff, and it really made it.
Shout out Jimmy for making a coffin, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
Jimmy
just
made us
throw
like
that out
an
there.
entire
now
coffin.
stores all of our whole arsenal of.
Nerf weapons. Yeah.
No,
Yes.
don't say that. I don't want any of the kids to find
Yeah,
out.
if you're a child watching
They
this,
went- I
it doesn't.
don't feel like those kids will watch this far into the podcast
Yeah, no,
to find that out.
their attention span is not getting them 40 minutes
We should
into a
put Subway Surfers on
podcast.
the
No, we shouldn't because then they'll find out.
But yeah, like Jimmy for Guy 4 this past summer made a coffin overnight because we had a funeral scene and he was like, "Do we have a coffin?" We're like, "No." For some reason, he then felt like we needed a coffin, and
I think he thought we were filming the scene the next day.
So he just went home and built an entire functional coffin, which was wild. But we got him on, and Jimmy has a lot of enthusiasm and energy, and he was also the youngest kid involved at that point.
Yeah.
Because he is. He's younger than each of you. He's going to be a freshman now.
Yeah, he's a year younger than me.
And he played the sheriff, who was a original character. Like he was one of the.
That's like our first character that we named.
Yeah.
That's actually like a good name.
Yeah.
Not
Like, was the chief an original Guy character?
Yeah.
Too?
Yes.
Okay.
I made
so-
it the chief.
No.
I made it Guy. I made it the gang
Wait a minute,
member.
but isn't his like first name Sheriff?
Yes.
Albuquerque. Yeah. Well, the chief's first name is
Yeah.
But-
And then gang member number 1's first name is Gang.
Yeah. But that was also Guy 3 was the first one that we.
I thought his first name was gang member and his last name was number 1.
No, it's Gang is his first name, 1 is his last name, and then member number is his middle name.
we actually went and filmed like on location, even though on
Yeah.
location was just 2 blocks away from here.
Yeah.
But it was the first time that we actually took Guy like off WCTV
I remember
grounds.
that.
We went over to the train station.
that was cool. Like,
That was our first like. It was really well done. The Jimmy being on the other side and then waiting
think
till
you
the
did
train
that.
passed and then having him walk across and
yeah.
then shooting it again, walking.
I remember how I
behind
had to
him.
hide behind something because I wanted to
Yeah.
come, but I wasn't
Yeah.
in the scene. So it was
And
just-
the guy, the train conductor, like leaned his head on the window and was like, "You getting on, man?" And it was like, "Oh no, I'm being a cowboy in a movie. Couldn't you tell?"
Yeah. The train conductor was probably really relieved that he was not getting
Yeah.
on. Wearing a giant poncho and a cowboy hat and a fake mustache.
that's probably our most lucrative costume
Yeah.
besides Silver Fist.
Yeah.
So that was, I mean, that one had our first Nerf weapon introduced into it. It had our first on location scene. Our first time like really shooting a scene being like, we have to get it right this time because like there was the scene, the smoke bomb scene where it was like, okay, the next train's not going to be coming by for an hour. Like we'd like to get this done. We're only going to get one shot at getting this right. So like you need to time it so that you're standing in the parking lot, but it looks like you're standing right in front of the train. The train's going behind you and you have to like throw the thing down and then get out of frame.
Shout out the smoke bombs we got because those things
Yeah.
bounce high.
Yeah.
They do, yeah.
It's really funny.
Real MVPs of the Guy franchise.
Like,
We used them like 12
you need
different
to throw
times.
it, and then you need to get the heck out of the shot quick so that we can put in the artificial smoke, but by the time it clears, you're gone, so it looks like you've gotten on the train. And like you guys really did it, and it was right then I was like, okay, yeah, they can do some pretty good stuff here.
Yeah, and then after we did a 30-minute film, we're like, you know what? Let's do 2 hours.
Yeah, natural progression. I think the Guy from its inception was definitely not planned to be 2 hours.
I think it was supposed to be like an hour.
You wrote a 114 page.
Well, yeah, but my plan was that just happens, you know. You start writing and it's like what I was aiming for was probably like 70, 80 pages. And And then once you get into the story a bit more, you're like, oh, this doesn't work unless more is added onto it. And the original plan was like, okay, I'm just gonna write whatever makes sense right now, and then we will go back and we will cut and revise it down. And we didn't. Which
grew, it just ballooned.
Yeah, which from a practicality standpoint, terrible idea. But like looking at the story, like based on the idea we had for it and how big it was, it kind of needs to be as long as it is. Maybe not 2 hours, but
I
like
think we could have done an hour and a half hour.
an hour and a half definitely could have worked. But like it kind of needs to be feature length. And I'm not saying a Guy 4 couldn't have been 60 minutes, 50 minutes, but based on like the plan we wanted with like CJO is like gonna go into the real world. There's all these Aidens and there's like 8 different main characters. Like yeah, it kind of needs to be as long as it is.
That happened in it, like someone would have gotten shorted. Like there is this
right.
whole Nico, Jeff Wacky, who we picked up. Like there were a couple of people that came in that weren't part of that core group. That
Shout out Nico, man. Nico's awesome.
Hello, Nico.
Nico's one. So one of the great things about the Guy franchise too is that we had kids from a bunch of different school systems come together, and some of them didn't really know each other at all before that. Like we had, so you guys obviously the Wilmington Public Schools.
Yep.
There were high school and middle schoolers at the time when we started it. We have St. John's Prep, Shawshing Tech kids coming in, someone from the Melrose Public Schools. Like it was really awesome because I think you hear about these like rivalries and dividing lines depending on like what school do you go to, and there was none of that here. It was just all this great collaboration. But having some kids that we picked up that really weren't part of that core group, like Nico, the Churchills, and just so seamlessly like integrated themselves into it. But like these characters emerged that like Jeff Wacky was such a minor character when you wrote it. And then it was like you did that scene in the closet with Nico.
That scene took 3 hours.
And his performance though in that was like, okay, we gotta use this kid. We gotta do something more with this kid. I think
character's so ridiculous. We need more of him.
And like Torrin was in the 6th grade, going into the 6th grade when we started filming. I think he's going into the 7th grade now. And his performance as like Deputy Tucson was like,
that's pretty good.
Whoa, like this kid as like a 6th grader, he's really like acting. He's
he definitely has better line delivery than me.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it's sort of, I don't feel like the movie ballooned unnecessarily, like, oh, we're just adding stuff in for the sake of it. It was like, no, like, there are all these real legit, now fleshed out characters with kids that are, like, playing them really well that you want to get screen time for, and you want to get story arc for. So, but it was quite the undertaking. And that first summer, I remember when it was sort of, that summer was coming to an end, and I was feeling like, okay, we're only probably 40% through this. And I felt like kind of bummed, like this was such a fun summer, but I don't feel like this is ever going to get finished. And everyone, like, I don't know what you felt like. At the end
I think we all thought it and didn't want to admit it to anyone. Like,
I thought we were going to have to cut it in half.
Yeah, me too.
And like, then kids just kept wanting to be involved. And like, we filmed, I think when I knew it was really going to be something special was when you two guys, when we filmed that scene at the train station in the fall.
I think that's the scene. I know I said it when we did the Hot Ones thing, which I haven't finished editing yet. But
coming soon.
Yeah, it's coming soon. I feel like that's the scene that kind of got us back into like the groove of, hey, we got to get this done.
No,
like,
absolutely.
And to me, that was something special because it was like, okay, you guys showed up. I think it was a school night. I'm pretty sure.
It was a Friday.
Okay. It was Friday.
Okay.
And like,
I was gonna say like it totally. I'm not gonna put that
my
past
parents
myself.
Wouldn't have let me do it if it was a school night.
Being like, okay, we have this idea for the scene, and then it was like, I don't know if setup was taking or the trains were delayed or something, and just being like, no, you guys were dedicated. Like we did the whole thing, and it looked so good when you guys.
We had a lot of great looks that night.
Like, we did. Oh yeah, because you guys were wearing trench coats and Crocs and shorts.
And I had a flower hat.
Yeah.
And the gray wig.
I was wearing a trench coat with shorts.
Yeah.
So like I had no pants on.
We filmed that one at the Wilmington train station off Main Street at midnight or 11 something. It was like the last train we got it. And that was another one where it's like, guys, like if we don't get this done, this is the last train for the night that's coming through. Like we're going to have wasted this whole night. And We got it. One of the best shots I've gotten was the rack focus from you when you turn and look at the train, and the focus shifts from you to the train going by.
Yeah.
But it was just the dialogue, everything. It was so well done. And that was like on location, and like we actually went somewhere not within walking distance, still in the city limits or the town limits of Wilmington, but it was like I felt like that was where we really were like, okay, we're upping the game.
And then we decided to do it again in Lowell.
Yeah.
But we stayed out till 2 this time.
That was Worcester. That was
Worcester.
It was
Yeah,
Worcester,
Lowell.
yeah. Because I think it was originally going to be the Owl Diner, right?
Yeah, but they're not open late.
Yeah.
So we went to the Boulevard Diner in Worcester, which is historic, and it's been a stopping spot for all kinds of colorful characters.
Such as us.
And we went there and we filmed at like 2 a.m. because Justin's group of interns, of Wilmington High interns, filmed a food show there earlier this year, and the owner was like, anytime you guys want to come film. So I was like, late at night for a movie that they're doing? He was like, sure. I was like, okay. But that was another great scene that you guys did, and that was dedication. Amazingly, no angry phone calls from parents about this for me, of like
That's because we eased them in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if you just took like Nico out at 2,
Oh, yeah,
they'll get a different
you know.
response.
But there was just so much like wonderful stuff from Guy 4, like Dom Guisti's Schmeckle character, you know, like
That's also one of our best costumes,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I do like the Schmeckle costume.
and I think one of the great things from Guy 4 too was we had these new people coming in, but we also were able to bring back some kids that had sort of gotten disconnected from WCTV. Like during the changeover from like Marty was the youth director here, and he was incredible. I never got to know him, and then Ashley took the reins from him, and she had a connection with people. And then when she left, like there wasn't a youth director, and I'm trying to keep my head above water here, and that's like, okay, we need a youth director. And so a lot of people sort of fell through the cracks, I think, which is a regret that we weren't able to get them more involved. But like Guy 4 brought a bunch of people back in, like that had been part of the youth program. Like Spencer has a bit role in it, JJ has a bit role in it, Ben O'Brien, like, but then Justin was the big one, that Justin Walker we got, who would be here on this podcast if he didn't sleep until like 5 p.m.
Should I? Oh, I'll check to see if it's texting me.
But like getting Justin back involved was amazing because
Bro, it's 1:30. Check your phone.
because he was right when I first started. I saw him around, but I wasn't involved in the youth program then, and then he just wasn't here, and like it would not have been the same if we didn't have Justin to play John Silverfist.
Absolutely.
The real sort of
I don't think we
scary
would have
guy.
had John Silverfist.
Yeah. John Silver's was written like very much with Justin in mind, and I don't know if anyone else could have actually pulled it off. He is, without question, my favorite character in anything I've written. I love John Silverfist. I think he's so much fun. That's why I wrote a whole movie about him. But I think Justin's part in it gets so much. You need that like chaotic energy from him. And I think it also, it's very like classic WCTV to have a character like that, because in this movie it's like Guy, the chief, Sheriff Albuquerque, like you're wacky guys, but they're like not that crazy at the end of the day. Like they're still like relatively normal characters. They just kind of have funny voices and they have funny names. And then John Silverfist is just something else entirely.
And Justin he did such a good job playing him like as just a lunatic, but like there's funny parts of that too, and it's all how theatrical he is, and like the way that he just walks up to people, or like in the middle of a fight, like his approach to someone is like, I feel like Wilmington High really lost out that he never decided to be involved in the Lamplighters.
Yeah.
real special there.
Would have been a sick Hades.
But like it was so fun having him back, and we would have not just not having the character, but like the essence of the film and like the culture around the film would have been different if we didn't have Justin involved.
Yeah.
You know, it was very funny, him in between scenes, he just put on his headphones, like just staying in the zone or whatever it was. And we were able to get him to come back this summer to reshoot a scene that we needed to, like, over next door. And like, I feel like he genuinely had fun playing the character.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, And that was the point where it was getting a little tough for me as far as like excitement of like they're gonna actually get this done, but also being like this is gonna be over. And then I don't know if we the youth program will probably never do something else of this magnitude.
Yeah.
While I'm here, I'm not selling anyone short at all. We've got amazing kids, but it was such a perfect storm. You usually use that for like bad things, but it was like a perfect storm of amazingly talented kids with an amazing vision and like different kinds of talents, like JT's talent as far as like screenwriting and having a vision, Dom's talent from like editing, some of the acting talents of the different kids, and like having them for like 2 years, because you really need it to be something that carry. You can't get something done in one summer of that magnitude and that like people really kept coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know that we'll ever have that much of a perfect storm of all these different factors going right to be able to do something like that again. So,
yeah, the stars kind of aligned with this, I think.
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. Is the stars definitely aligned for doing this. But it was when we refilmed that scene next door using the empty office space next door was like, all right, like we're really about to be at the end of this.
Yeah.
And your guys' editing got so much better. Not just like the stuff that you were doing was more detailed and advanced, but like how quickly you were getting it done. Because that was one of my fears, was like how long it would take to edit a scene the first summer, like that we started Guy 4.
Yeah.
And you guys would get a scene shot and then edited in the same day this past summer, which was really amazing. Like a detailed
You can tell the scenes that we edited a year ago, filmed and edited a year ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that, and then sort of a culmination was like the courthouse, which the montage at the end of it. If you watch nothing else, watch the montage that JT edited together and had the vision behind, and he took the music. And JT and I are both big fans of The Wire, and we talked about.
We've had many a conversation about that show.
About The Wire and about the montages they used.
Yeah.
All the episodes basically started ending in montages. Guy 1 didn't, but they started to at least.
They all had a montage.
Yeah.
But
we have a lot of montages.
But JT had the vision. He wrote out exactly what's going to happen at each sort of timestamp in the song, and the montage for Guy 4 that wraps up a lot of the story arcs is really amazing. It's like maybe the best edit that anyone associated with WCTV has done. It's so well done.
Thank you.
It's incredible. It really is something that it nothing about it says youth program. It looks like professional. And like we literally went on location to film stuff just for the like the court scene. Filmed at the Woburn District Court was like, it was so well done, and it's only like 30 seconds, if that.
Yeah.
Makes it onto but it was just so well done.
That courtroom was so cool to film in.
Yeah,
and it looks really good on camera too, which I know is probably not what they're going for when they design a courtroom, but like that like kind of like turquoise and like brownish orange kind of color scheme they got going looks really nice on camera, so shout out to the Woburn District Court for that. Like
it was one of the things about this too that was amazing, was seeing like community come together for it. Like community obviously came together for the premiere, which was amazing, like 150 people.
Yeah, sorry I had like 20 people come. I took up the
but like
theater.
It is what it is.
Community coming together at different times to like support it when we all of a sudden thought we were going to have a court location or like something that kind of looked like a court, and then that was falling through, and I was hitting up everyone I could think of, and including posting on the community board, like, does anyone know of someone from Wilmington who works the Woburn District Court? Was like, hey, yeah, like, and we got the whole thing going, and we're able to go film in the court. Was amazing, bringing our costumes in and everything. It was just really a special experience. And then what was the premiere like for you guys, like that night of getting to see it all come together?
It was a lot of fun for me. It was cool to see people's reactions to this movie who weren't like as in it as we are. And it was also kind of fun to like see people's reactions to stuff that like only really makes sense to us. Like there'd be scenes where something would get a big laugh, and I'd be like, "Oh, right, yeah, that's not normal. Like that is a weird thing we're saying."
For me, it was the weather's changing, boys.
Yeah.
I was like, there it is, let's go.
Everyone else was like, "What the hell does that mean?" There was a few different times where I had to like lean in to talk to my girlfriend and be like, "This makes sense, trust me." But it was a great experience. That's like one of my favorite nights in my life. Like just getting to see such a huge crowd turn up for like something we worked so hard on. It made me feel like a little professional. And it was just a really cool experience to get so many people that I care about in the same room and just be like, let's watch something weird that I made. And the fact that everyone seemed to genuinely enjoy it. And I can kind of tell because I had the youth programs when I was a kid where we'd show them what we made, and they did not seem to have as much fun back then.
I remember those.
Yeah, so I'm really happy with how the premiere went.
What about you, Dom? You had a big family turnout. You know?
Yeah, I feel like my whole bloodline was there. I already have a big family as it is, and so it was really good to have a bunch of people come. My uncles were there, or uncle, my grandma, my 2 grandmas, 3 grandmas, and my mom's side of the family. Most of that side of the family was there. My dad's family was there. My dad invited a friend from work who just likes superhero movies. And he came out, and so that was fun.
At least one person from the school committee was there too. So
Yeah, Stephen Turner, Akira Turner's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just happy that it was done. Like, I'm just gonna keep saying I was relieved because I was getting stressed trying to do it because I had to do like 3 edits at a time, and it was a lot.
Yeah.
Like it was fun, but I feel like I don't want to ever have to have that much workload here again.
Yeah.
That's
So I feel
understandable.
like everything that at least I'm in charge of is gonna be 30 minutes or less, hopefully.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It was, to me, it was a really amazing night, and I was just really proud of all you guys and really, really thankful that you guys got to have something like that. It was awesome. Like the fact that it was 120 seat theater, and I know a few weeks leading up to it, I was like, I really hope some people show up. These kids have put so much work into this. I don't want them to be there and the theater's like 75% empty.
Yeah.
And then we got to like the day of, and I was like, oh, like, we're not going to have enough tickets for everyone. Like, I was like, and then there wound up being like 150 people
Yeah.
who showed up, and we just figured out a way for like people to
I remember
sit in
on the
aisles.
way to the theater, since like my mom volunteered like with helping set up the premiere, and my dad's one of the co-presidents of the WCTV board, and obviously I made the movie, so all 3 of us on the ride there were like panicking and trying to put our heads together, like figure out how we were gonna fit everyone in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It definitely taught me don't underestimate people in this community and like loved ones showing up.
Yeah.
Creators, which was awesome. And also like have a plan to shut off ticket sales and make sure everyone knows if you want to get a ticket, you need to pre-order. And that was the wildest thing is I was in there. I remember I did the announcement. I'm like, has anyone here not pre-ordered their tickets? Because I was going to be like, if you haven't gotten them, you got to go. And everyone was like, no one raised their hand. And I was like, oh man, nuts. But that was so awesome how many people showed up for you guys.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. Like all the people that had small roles that came together to be involved, like Dom's dad, really underrated seeing that people that don't have a background where when it's Guy's morning and he wakes up and he's brushes his teeth with the Gabby's dollhouse toothpaste. Like other than that scene of him brushing his teeth, we had originally shot that scene a summer ago in WCTV, and then we started shooting all these things on location, and I was like, should reshoot it at someone's house. Dom took a camera home for the weekend, and he shot the whole thing single camera himself, like multiple angles, multiple tapes. That was such a phenomenal shooting at it. Like
I think
just from
that
the
I made
following
that
your
scene
dad
a
walk.
minute and a half longer than it needed to be.
But it was great.
So good. It was so good. Just even like when it cuts to the outside and the car arriving, and you see the wheel pull up, and then you see the foot get out. Like it was so well done. It was such a professional shooting at it. It was fantastic. And I think one of the coolest things was then the summer program that you guys helped run, like sort of handing the baton to the next generation. We just during lunch one day, like put on Guy, and they got so into it.
It's a
Kids-
drug dealer.
They kept saying everyone
that
was
was
a drug
not
dealer.
so fun, but like they're buying T-shirts and hats and mugs at the end of the like it was so funny. Like it was so awesome that.
Yeah.
You know, I know we've talked for a while. I feel like I've talked too much on this, like I always do. It was just such an awesome experience. Like, what are your guys' final sort of takeaways from Guy? And
Don't do
feelings on it?
drugs.
Don't do drugs. Yeah, don't do drugs, and don't make jokes about drugs being in movies if you're a kid, because me and Dominic have had enough of that. But for real, this was probably the wildest thing I've ever done in my life, and I couldn't be happier that as much time as I set aside for this, and as many headaches as it sometimes caused me, like at the end of the day, we made something that is genuinely pretty solid, and actually kind of fits with the vision I had, because that's not a thing I usually get to do here. And you know, I always know that I'm a ridiculously overly ambitious person. I'm an overconfident person. I don't consider like, hey, we're filming this in a week and we don't really have a budget and we're all children.
Perfectionist.
I'm a perfectionist for sure. So you know, for all my life doing WCTV, I've always had to, compromise and be like, okay, it's not going to be totally what I imagined making it. But, on that premiere night, I was watching it and I was like, this is pretty much what I saw. This is as good as we could have gotten. And I'm really proud that we were able to get this movie to this point. And I have no regrets.
I just think it was good to do something that I love doing. Like using the camera. It doesn't matter if it's sports or if it's like something to do like cinematography wise. It's just fun. Like I love the editing. I loved learning how to do the special effects. That was probably my favorite part. Besides the fact that it took 3 hours to do 1 second.
Yeah, kind of backfired on you at the end. I was like, Dom's got this figured out. I'll do the easy stuff.
Yeah. I've said it. I'm gonna sound like a broken record. I'm really just happy it's over. Like it was that last week. I was really stressed because we're like, hey, we need this done by Thursday, and I'm like, is it gonna be done by Thursday? And then it was. So I was really happy, and I'm just happy I got to do something that was fun and ended up being this big. Like when we came up with the character Guy 2 years ago, or more than 2 years ago, we were like, we'll do like a movie. I think the first movie idea was nothing to do with what we ended up
Yeah. In one of the blooper scenes not a blooper scene. It was Miracle on 74th Street. In this god awful weird improv skit we made like three years back, like pre-Sam era. You can see the original plan for the Guy
I think
movie.
it's something about zombies.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with what we actually came up with.
We should have stuck with that idea. We should have taken a picture of that
Should
board.
we have?
What about you, Dom? What are your takeaways from it?
Oh man. Well, I have to say, if you really think about it, maybe the real Guy 4 serial killers was the friends we made along the way.
It's a very Dom response.
It was just when you get older, people talk about you want to leave something better than you found it. I think it's a cliched phrase we use a lot, but like the youth program and just the idea of what you can come in here and do as part of the youth program, like you can actually use professional equipment, learn professional editing techniques, have a legitimate resume. Like you guys have a legitimate resume for college jobs, everything. You in a different way with like your docuseries stop motion, like that's something that I keep being on you to finish it, like because I think you could legitimately pitch that to like the Discovery Channel. That's like that good. And just the idea of what is possible at WCTV, what you can do here, is night and day from when you guys started. And I don't mean any disrespect to anyone. It's just like you guys made that much of an impact on the program. Like you guys have absolutely left, not that you're done, Dom, but like, and hopefully you guys keep coming back. We all talk about you well, but I know the real world and kids get off to college and get into the college life and all that, but have left an indelible mark on WCTV, forever changed the station and the youth program and what we're about. And it's like, you talk about leaving it better than you found it. You left it so much better than you found it. It's really been been such an amazing experience to just be along for the ride for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, who wants to sign this off? Who wants to?
I think Dom should.
Oh,
Got volunteered.
all right. Thank you guys so much for watching our podcast. This is the cast of Guy 4 Serial Killers. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out.
It's on YouTube.
It's not a waste of 2 hours.
It's not. It's absolutely.
It certainly is not.
How many times do I die in it?
I think it's like 27.
Yeah,
That's wild.
maybe not 27.
I think I counted. I think it's around 20.
Oh my god,
It's like in
Wow.
the 20s.
we made a weird movie, man.
Two weeks away from retirement. That's all I know.
You were, yeah.
All right, with that being said, cast of Guy 4, signing off.
The weather's changing, boys.